I am CEO Chairwoman of WOW, Internet, Cable, and Phone. We like to say we're in the business of providing significant connections for life. We've done something no other cable internet company has done, and that is been awarded 14 J.D. Power First Place Awards by our customers in 10 years. We've also been recognized in Consumer Reports as the #1 provider since '07. And we're not even a national company, we're regional. So that's some major success. And I think the reason we have garnered that from our customers is we do things differently. So that's the business we're in, providing significant connections for life. But our philosophical statement, basically how we live, how we act, how we behave, how we make our decisions, is all around a simple statement. And that statement is to deliver an employee and customer experience that lives up to our name. And it's simple, everybody gets it, everybody understands it, and it's a powerful anchor to all of us as we're setting strategy, as we begin to implement that strategy. We always step back at some point in a meeting or in a discussion and say, will this deliver an experience for our employees where they'll go, wow, this is great, or for our customers? And if it's not, we got to back up and regroup. We always say that our products and services can't differentiate us. And I think if a company believes that, they're strategically off base. Because why? Anybody can duplicate your products and your services, right? It's not what you offer, it's how you offer it that makes the difference. Nobody can think like me or be me or you or anyone else, right? We're all individual. So if you can get a group of people who think differently, who behave in a certain way that really honors relationship, honors the experience, you will stand out. You will be different. It's that magic that we've created at WOW that really helps us differentiate and compete against the biggest companies in our industry. We're definitely the David of David and Goliath. Here at WOW, what we've done is define 4 core values, which in themselves aren't anything outrageous or uncommon, and they're respect, integrity, accountability, and a word we made up, servanthood. And so by themselves, they sound like pretty common things. It's what you do about those values and how you live them out in the organization that makes the difference. So we do what we operationalize our values. We recruit based on them. We will interview based on them. We will hire based on them. We will check your performance based on them, give you a merit increase, promote you, or terminate you based on how you live and or violate those values. It doesn't mean that we're threatening and we don't want people to take risks or to make mistakes, because we absolutely encourage that. If you're making mistakes, we're trying hard. We even have an award for that called the Courage Award. And if you can win that award either by taking a risk outside of your normal responsibilities and trying something new and it worked, or doing that and it didn't work but we learned from it. And I'd say we probably had 30% of the award winners on the ladder where it failed, but we learned. So it's a very cool award. We try to instill that take risks, but don't ever consciously violate our values. And that is throughout our whole organization. And because of that, I think that's the magic, is everybody knows we mean it. It's not just 4 words on a poster that nobody's modeling. And so that's one core reason I think we have a healthy organization. But then how do you even take that further from a structure standpoint? Because again, I think leadership doesn't spend enough time on how are we organized? Do we have the Industrial Revolution smokestack structure? Is it a hierarchy? I don't know when it was, 70s, 80s, whenever it was where they came out with the inverted pyramid idea. You know, it's like big deal. The problem with that idea was all any corporations did was invert the pyramid, but behavior didn't change, right? So what we did is we scrapped all of that and we created what's called the service structure. It was designed by a woman here in Denver, Kathy Sunshine. And the purpose of the service structure is to live the value of servanthood, to create a structure that insists that people are there to serve one another. So you sit in a room basically and you map out all your functions that exist in your organization, and you define who supports who internally in order to support the end consumer. And then we measure that. We measure it throughout the year on who are your internal customers. They're defined, and then those internal customers rate you on how you're serving them. And your increases will be based on that, your bonuses are based on that, and it's a very powerful way to operate. It takes out the politics, the bureaucracy, the hierarchy, all those dysfunctional things that can exist in a hierarchical and very smokestacked organization. So every day, everybody is charged with coming to work and creating a wow moment, either for someone personally, say you go to get gas during your schedule and you say something nice and do something wonderful for the gas attendant. It doesn't have to necessarily be a wow employee, but you have to make a wow moment occur for someone that day. And it is phenomenal, the stories that come out of what our employees do to create a wow moment for our customers. And I hear about them, we document them, we recognize them in all employee meetings, and we have one of our largest operations where 100% of the technicians receive some kind of accolade within the month from a customer who they've created a wow moment for. It's pretty amazing. What encapsulates, I think, the differences in men and women and their attitudes is that men will look, say you've got a job description of 10 qualifications. A man will look at that and say, wow, I can do these 2 things really well. I'm going for this job. I'm going to ask for top dollar and go in with confidence. The woman will look at that same job description and say, oh, I can only do 8 of these. I can't do those 2. I've never had any experience in those 2. I'm not qualified. And she lets it go. That is the right there. That's a key difference between us. And on a more funny level, I saw a cartoon once, and a woman and it's a split screen cartoon. So the woman's on the left side, and she's trying to get a new pair of jeans, or a pair of jeans on, and they don't fit her. And the bubble is, oh my God, I've gained so much weight. I'm such a slob. I'm so late. I gotta lose this weight. And she's putting herself down. In the next screen is a guy going to put on some jeans that don't fit. And it's one simple bubble that says, what the hell's wrong with these jeans? And if that doesn't encapsulate the difference between us, I don't know what does. I came from a very male-dominated background. And so I think your family system has a lot of influence over how well you developed your feminine and your masculine. And the fact just that I don't know how many individuals even relate to the fact that they have a male side and a female side. And many of us tend to live in one more than the other. And I think to be a really successful leader, you've got to be able to go between your feminine and your masculine all day long and honor both sides of that in yourself. One is not better than the other. And all the really good leaders that I know, they have a real beautiful, soulful balance between their masculine and their feminine. Personally, for me, probably in my teens, 20s, 30s, even early 30s, but about from my mid-30s on, I kind of got this. But prior to that, I was probably more in my masculine. I could relate to the guys. I was in an industry that was mostly men. And so I think I lived more in my masculine than my feminine, and was very results oriented, very driven, wasn't as focused on the how as the what. And then through some leadership coaching and therapy in my early 30s, I learned how to honor the feminine within. And it really meant some deep work, and I think some work that probably a lot of people could relate to, because the 2 things that I narrowed it down to was a desire to be authentic. And in order to be authentic, what were the key roadblocks, all the judgments I had that were stopping me from being truly authentic as a person and as a leader? And the one for me everybody might answer this differently, but the one for me was vulnerability. Because when I felt vulnerable, I had a judgment around that meant I was weak. And it was weak to show my emotions. It was weak to say, I don't know. It was, I had just a ton of judgment around that. And once I got to a place where I could eliminate that judgment, and what was more important than those judgments was my desire to be authentic, to be whole, to be real, so that when people related to me, they knew I was who I was. And so when I said I didn't know, it not only was real, but it gave them permission when they needed to say, I don't know, or I need help. The more I said that, the more others could say it. So I think to value and desire to live authentically will open up all the things that are, all the fears, all the negative judgments that hold us back from being that. I really believe, especially in today's fast-paced environment, communication, revolution we're living in, that you gotta get away. Whether it's for an hour, 2 hours, half a day, but get away in what I call unplug. Don't have anything with you, no phone, no communications, and just be with yourself. Because I think what we're able to hear in those moments, what we're able to deal with, what we're able to shed, is really powerful. So every year I go away. I've built it up now to 5 days of silence and solitude. And I go up to the mountains, to a monastery, and I'm in a hermitage by myself. And I remember one year getting a message that was really, really important because it was all around control. A lot was going on in my life. I had adopted my daughter. Things were happening in the family, at work, and so I was going through this high judgment, flogging myself basically, that I'm not good enough at this, and I gotta do this, and how come I did that, and blah, 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 and it was all around control. I didn't realize it was, but the message I got was this, is, Colleen, pay attention to the motivation and intention of your heart. And if it is pure, let go of the outcome. And I had to write it down because it was so powerful, and I missed a part. It was pay attention to the motivation and intention of your heart because that is where I reside. And if it is pure, let go of outcome. And the I can be whatever anybody interprets. For me, it's God. Somebody might say light, energy, goodness, but anything that's pure and good is in your heart and soul, right? So you can interpret it however you want. But I wrote that down, and immediately when I came home, certain things hit me where I was about to respond to something, and I heard the voice say, what's motivating you right now? Anger. What's your intention? To show the board that he's a liar and this isn't true and blah, blah, blah. Is that pure? No. So I didn't do it. And then I'd get home and my daughter acted out really poorly and I was ready to, lower the boom on her, and the motivation was, what's motivating you right now? Power. What's your intention? To show her who's boss. Is that pure? No. So I handled it differently. And I came back and shared it with everybody in our organization because I just think it's such a powerful message that if I know I've said something to you and I'm saying it out of love and friendship, and my intention is to simply be authentic with you, and you get mad at me, I'm okay with that now because I have no control over your response. I have no control over the outcome as long as I know my intentions were pure. I mean, I really believe if you create an environment that is motivating and inspiring, people, and allowing people to give their best, they will do magical things. And you will absolutely have success. Because what do we all want? I mean, we all want to feel like we're loved, and we all want to feel like we have something to contribute in the world, right? I mean, it's just fundamentally in our DNA. So I learned over the years, you can't motivate or inspire anybody to do anything. You can only create a motivating and inspiring environment.